Okay, so Bridget and Ellie, before we jump in, can you quickly intro yourselves?
Yeah, hi, I'm Bridget Menny. I'm a client success manager here at Direct Agents on our e-commerce team, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you all.
Hi, I'm Allison Ng. I'm a senior growth strategist at Direct Agents, and I'm excited to share some Amazon strategies.
Great. So we just talked a lot about how marketers should approach like their overall holiday season more broadly. Now I want to talk more about Amazon and retail media as a statement, but really we're gonna really hone in on Amazon here. Just a note for anybody who's tuning in, there are a lot of best practices that we're really hoping most people are already implementing, things like day parting and conducting product mix analysis, gifting strategies, updates to your SEO. Those we were thinking about going through all of this, but frankly, they feel a little bit like table stakes to us. Of course, if you want to talk through them and you want more detail and you're like, hey, I actually don't know how to do a product mix analysis, please feel free to email us, marketing@directagents.com. We can send you best practices, a bunch of guides, all of that stuff. What we really wanted to talk through today are just some less used tactics that are really, really impactful and things that we have started implementing for our brands that have really made massive differences and can really set you apart on Amazon, especially as Amazon becomes just hyper competitive. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is sending outside traffic to Amazon. So Bridget, can you just talk with me quickly about, why would a brand send outside traffic to Amazon? What are some of the strategies that we've implemented? What are the benefits? Can you just go over that with me?
Yeah, of course. There are a ton of game-changing benefits of driving outside traffic directly to Amazon. Amazon loves when sellers are doing this for them. It's bringing new shoppers to their site for free. So with that comes a few perks. First, want to chat through this example. This is a client that we currently have that was launching a brand new brand and product on Amazon, and we decided to run a TikTok influencer campaign alongside that new product launch. Here we're looking at off Amazon click-throughs that's coming in from TikTok directly to that product page and comparing that with sales rank. Again, we want sales rank to be lower. That means better. And you can see a direct correlation when we see that increase in overall traffic and click-throughs from TikTok. We are seeing our sales rank improve. When we see that traffic come down a bit, we are seeing that sales rank increase, therefore getting a bit worse. We eventually sold through our product much quicker than expected. But overall, this client here saw 150% increase in sales rank that we can really tie to driving that traffic from TikTok directly to Amazon. So definitely Amazon loves to give you a boost in your just overall sales rank when driving outside traffic. And with that, we're able to capture all of this great data with Amazon attribution. We can really get a lot of those main KPIs and really see that overall lift. And within Amazon attribution, we actually received a brand referral bonus. So sellers get 10% of your product sales back, which is really great if that sale comes from an offline or buyer from TikTok, wherever they may have found your product, your brand. We get 10% back. As we know, Amazon fees are always increasing, so a little bit always helps here and there.
I have actually two follow-up questions for you. Is one, do you find that most brands are doing this, or would you recommend going into Q4? Most brands would do this as like a short-term initiative, just running something for 2 weeks, or would you think that you should realistically run something more evergreen driving to Amazon?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'd say it really kind of depends what your overall strategy is and what your overall goal is and how long you want to run that. Here, I think we'd like to run it for longer. Obviously, ran out of stock a bit early, but it does kind of depend what your overall goal is and whether you want to drive that to Amazon or your .com.
Yeah, and probably like how established your brand is on Amazon and a bunch of other factors. Okay, and then the second thing I want you to talk through is like, of course, Amazon would love to get free traffic. Who wouldn't love to get free traffic? I'd love to get free traffic, but brands are much less comfortable when I've spoken with them about driving outside traffic to Amazon, right? If you had a choice and you're paying for media, I'd rather send to my own .com. I have higher profit margins. I get first-party data. There's so many better, like in my mind as a brand, factors to driving to a .com. So this isn't the first time you've heard this. How can a brand or a marketer think about the type of traffic they should send to Amazon versus their .com and the value that it might provide, I suppose.
Yeah, we get this question all the time because, as I mentioned, Amazon fees are high. Your margin is most likely higher on your D2C, so we definitely get the appeal. Before I give you a clear answer, we love to look at the data here. So we are seeing about 70% of Amazon shoppers are new to brand shoppers that have never purchased your product or interacted with your brand before, while the remaining 30% are repeat buyers. So this is a great way to look at where your shoppers actually going to convert, why are they on Amazon, and taking that into your strategy as to where to drive your traffic. As you mentioned, it's always good to take into account where the stage of your Amazon business is. If it's brand new, you may want to invest a bit more early on in driving traffic to your PDPs on Amazon, just to build those reviews and your credibility on the site. But if you're relatively established, we like to split it out into two different strategies. If your goal here is to get new to brand shoppers, that's when we really recommend continuing driving to Amazon. As I mentioned, trusted reviews, there's Prime, quick shipping, makes it that much easier to hit buy on a product you may not be super familiar with, and you have so much information right there. With that, when you're looking at just the product mix that you want to offer during this time on Amazon, really focus on driving to those first touch products, typically a bit cheaper, and just the first introduction to your brand. So that should be your focus for new to brand shoppers. And then on the flip side, if you really want to target those brand loyal customers, this is when we strongly recommend running to your D2C, but keeping in mind the product mix that you're providing here. Really focus on your more innovative, potentially higher price point, maybe exclusive products that are only on your D2C with a lot of your branded and remarketing campaigns, and that will get those conversions, hopefully a higher AOV as well from a lot more of those brand loyal customers.
That's such a good point. And you said something like consumers don't really differentiate where they're buying your product from. They know they're buying your brand. They don't care if it's Amazon, if it's social commerce, it's your .com. They want to transact with you as a brand. So how do you make it sort of as easy as possible? That's really helpful. Okay, so one of the other trends that we're seeing, and you heard this in the last session, is that consumers are obviously increasingly price sensitive. They want to cut and be stingy in some places, but they still want to splurge on themselves this holiday season. So, Ali, I wanted to ask you, can you just talk about some of the strategies that Amazon offers to allow brands and marketers to take advantage of rewards or savings that have been particularly useful?
Absolutely. With a market as saturated as Amazon, it's super important to find ways to incentivize purchases with obviously a data-driven perspective. So the two unique tactics that we wanted to touch on today are Amazon Rewarded Display, or formerly known as Amazon Moments, and then just in general, promotional strategy and testing. So with Amazon Rewarded Display, just imagine a scenario where your potential customer is browsing through their favorite app and suddenly your product pops up with, a compelling offer attached. I definitely think that that's the magic of Amazon Rewarded Display. It's all about just catching your audience's attention at just the right moment and providing them with an incentive that's just too good to resist. And akin to, I guess, like a rebate, you have the chance to offer exclusive deals, discounts, or even a special access, and all about creating a shopping experience, like you mentioned, Megan, that feels tailored just for them. I definitely think that this is extra relevant this year, thinking back to some of the points that Monica and Corey touched on in that first session. Consumers, always, but especially this year, are looking for ways to reward themselves. So I definitely feel that when shopping for others, providing a small but impactful way for the consumer to get a little reward for themselves will really go a long way. So we definitely really love that strategy. Now, talking about promotions and crafting that type of strategy and testing, as we gear up for Q4, I definitely think testing becomes your best friend. So start early, experiment with different types of promotions, such as percentage discounts, bundling offers, limited time deals. The key here is obviously to gather insights and learn what resonates best with your target audience. So we have a couple of examples here on the page. The first one on that left-hand side was us running a very short coupon. It only actually ran for about a day and a half. And we wanted to see what the halo effect on bestseller ranking would be from that lift in traffic, conversion rate, and sales that we expected to see when coupon went live. So as Bridget already mentioned, BSR, we want that to be low. And we actually found that our bestseller ranking actually reached its best level the day or a couple days after the coupon had actually ended, and it remained stronger than what it had previously been for a few extra days. So here we definitely learned a lot about promotion timing and of course like being super vital for all those big shopping periods in Q4. It really helped us piece together some ideas about lead-in strategies and making sure our visibility during Prime Day, Prime Early Access Sale, Black Friday, Cyber Monday are as strong as possible. Now, moving on to the right-hand side, this was a different client that we work with, and it was choosing the most effective promotion type, in this case, promo code versus coupon, and also testing the optimal discount amount that would drive the highest profitability. So we actually pretty easily found that the best performing promotion that led to an actually noteworthy increase in conversion rates and sales was the coupon. And we also at the same time found a more, I think in my opinion, important insight, which was running a more substantial discount, in this case 10% versus 5%, did not actually correlate with an increase in unit sales. So I definitely find this data point super, super insightful because, I definitely think a lot of times brands can just choose a discount amount that they think will incentivize the customer the most. But actually here we found that the 5% off versus the 10% generated a parallel increase in unit sales. So therefore we can effectively optimize our profitability by maintaining as high an average order value as possible. So we're getting that lift in conversion rate by running a discount at all, but we are remaining as high of a price point product as we possibly can. And I definitely think that that really helped shape our promotional strategy for this brand.
It's so important because I think a lot of marketers, if you work in both, .com and Amazon, you're so used to seeing your .com discounts at like 20%, 25%. You just don't have to do that for Amazon. One follow-up question I had for you is with the BSR example. You ran a promotion for about a day and a half. Is that typical? Would you recommend, or would you think that if you ran a longer promotion that you would have a longer halo effect? What does that tend to look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think the answer to that is obviously test it out and see how that does for your brand, because every brand and even products within the same brands can react a little bit differently on Amazon. But I would generally say if we ran this promotion for a little bit longer, we had a tight budget on this one, so we wanted to keep it short. We would love to see that halo effect last for a longer period of time. And that's kind of why I was touching on the importance of lead-in strategy, like running something very, very small leading into Prime Day or leading into Black Friday will keep your visibility high for those specific days when everyone is actually shopping. So definitely worth testing out and being strategic with the budget that you have there, the amount of time that you're running for it, and also when you're running it.
Okay, great. Ellie, I also want to talk to you about some bundling strategies. So obviously there's traditional bundling strategies, but you have been doing some really interesting things that almost like mirror subscriptions. And I think this is really interesting because it's a way that a seller can increase their AOV, but also provide really unique gifts. So can you talk a little bit about how you've been testing some of these like bundling subscription boxes, how brands could start thinking about it or testing into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the more recent tests that we started running are Amazon subscription boxes. So they are literally just subscription boxes. And there are two ways to kind of run this. One would be through the brand yourself. You would be in charge of packaging it together, shipping it to customers via FBM, all of that on the brand. And I think that that can be a huge benefit because you have all of your products there. And then the other way is through a managed service with Amazon. And this is actually a great way to gain visibility for some of your new products. So kind of starting with the former, I definitely think that it's awesome to run a subscription box that's specific to your own brand because you have total control over running this. You can set up how often things are being shipped out. You can really have full ownership of the product mix that's going in there. And, you know, the thing that I love about this is you can really encapsulate your entire product line. So I definitely think that this is a really intriguing activation when considering holiday planning. You know, these types of boxes obviously make the perfect holiday gift, and it can be a great way to expand your customer base, expand your brand loyal customer base as well. And it's a really cool way to have a high average order value or high price point with something that you're selling and create that experience for your customers. So on the other side of things, Amazon can also create subscription boxes based on your product type or your category. So, you know, kind of looking at our screen, let's say you sell a lip balm product. So you can work with Amazon to feature your product in the Subscribe and Discover Lip Balm Club box, which is delivered to people that opt into this box, meaning that they are highly qualified to be interested in your product and hopefully like your product since they already choose to subscribe to this club. And I think that this is a super fun and unique way to create interest surrounding your products, whether it be a new product, one that you hope to gain more visibility on, building reviews. This is great to get that visibility before the holidays. And I will mention that this is a managed service through Amazon, so you'll need to work with an Amazon rep, but as Direct Agents is a preferred agency partner, we do have a dedicated Amazon account executive for our agency who has helped us push through these types of activations before. So definitely making sure you're working with someone who's knowledgeable about this and can get you in the right spot for these types of activations is super key here.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's really interesting. I know subscription boxes especially can be really fun, like holiday gifting ideas that are a little bit unique. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about is the increased competition on Amazon. So overall costs are going up. It's just being much harder to compete. And outside of, you know, the recommendation of just spend more money, obviously there are things that brands should be doing right now just to ensure that they're better prepared, they have better brand awareness. And Bridget, can you just talk me through some of those recommendations that you would have brands implement right away so that they can have a more successful last quarter of the year?
Yeah, most definitely. It is. We are all preparing for a very competitive holiday season, and we need to find ways to really set ourselves apart. First thing I recommend for all brands is to fully understand and highlight all of your unique selling points of your product, and then use that as your baseline for any campaign that you're running. So a great way to do this is to utilize Amazon influencers. Amazon has really heavily been investing in building out their influencer program for the past year or two, and definitely a great time to jump in and start utilizing all these different ways that you can reach influencers and hopefully new to brand customers. There's a few ways you can do this. First, you can actually be a co-sponsor of Amazon influencer events. This is a great way to gift hundreds of influencers at once, hopefully getting a ton of UGC content from that. And here at DA, we can provide any attribution links and really try and look at the data to quantify the effect of a lot of these events and diving into the data to see the lift overall. Next is you can also work with influencers to have your product featured on unique influencer storefronts. We know shoppers trust influencers about 2 times more than the actual brand. So this is a great way to hopefully lead to a conversion from someone that they trust and reaching, again, those new to brand customers. And then lastly, really highlighting any UGC content across, you know, your storefront, your product page, wherever customers are looking for your brand. We know 92% of shoppers are watching online videos every day. This is how people are consuming and learning about new brands and new products. So it's really important to keep up with that trend and utilizing influencers to do so. Again, as Ali mentioned, we do have, you know, a partner at Amazon that can help us activate any of these influencer partnerships that you may be interested in, but our e-commerce team really specializes in, you know, the data and quantifying the impact of a lot of these influencer activations as well. I'm able to see the overall lift, but a great way to take more of an awareness tactic down the funnel and hopefully leading to more conversions. And from that overall, hopefully you're building up your brand loyal customers, which is the goal, and just really keeping in mind that every touch point you have with your customer needs to be a great one, keeping that idea that even from an influencer video all the way till that product reaches their doorstep and beyond, when they're interacting with your brand, it is a great customer experience, and that's how you're really gonna set yourself apart for Q4.
Yeah, and I really like this because I mean, one of the benefits of obviously everything living in Amazon is just the attribution, which sometimes influencers struggle with. So it's a fun tactic for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, and then on this next slide is just all of our key takeaways that Ali and I already chatted about, so nothing new. A good screenshot of all of our innovative strategies here. Highly recommend you start looking into these for Q4 to really, set yourself apart.
Perfect. Bridget, Ali, thank you guys so much for the time today.